Hey everybody, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to do a specific character review on Domino, who just got to the game if you want to buy her. She's not available for free to play yet, but if you want to buy her, she's in the game. I did an Envoy video on her in the XForce the other day. I will say that there was a mistake that I made in that video about the stats. Shame on me, but I'm human, and what I did not do, and the mistake that I made, was I did not update my baseline stats after the Red Stars rework. So that giant power creep I saw, it wasn't really there. So that's a mistake on my part. I didn't figure it out until after the fact, even though I checked the formulas. I looked at things like 10 different times. I just didn't think about checking the baseline stats because there was a baseline stat rework for Red Stars. So that's on me, my bad, y'all. Hopefully this video is really what you look at when you want to decide about Domino, at least. We'll be doing this for all the other XForce tunes. I'll probably do a combined Cable and Deadpool one just so we can kind of see where they're at and everything. But this one, it's about Domino. So let's go check out her kit, her abilities, all that kind of thing, and more importantly, her stats. I love getting to those, and we'll even check out the T-Force.
Bring me WolverThor!
Alright, so starting with Domino's basic, called Lucky Shot. Attack primary target for 160% damage. With the T4, that gains an additional 50%. Gain a 50% crit chance for this attack. Gain assist from a random XForce ally. So let's see how often she's really going to be using that. Next up is her special, which looks like it's going to be her second turn. So that basic looks like it's a third turn type ability. Fire in the Hole is the special. If Deadpool is an ally, transfer all negative effects from self and each XForce ally to Deadpool. Fill speed bar for Deadpool by 60%. It goes up an additional 20% to 80 for the T4 upgrade there. Attack the most injured enemy for 270% damage and all adjacent targets for 240% damage. And the T4 in that regard increases the primary or the most injured enemies damage by 50%, and same thing with the adjacents. It's an additional 50%. So that one's a pretty solid T4 upgrade. I can see myself thinking that's something you want to really look at. Gets Deadpool to go a little bit quicker. The basic is a third turn, maybe not so much. Ultimate, no scope. This is your first turn ability. Attack primary target for 270% damage. The T4 increases that by 40%. Plus apply disrupted. Rebound chain to 2 to 3 with the T4 guarantees 3. Adjacent targets for 200% damage. If this character is below 50% health, rebound chain to 5 adjacent targets. Dodge breaks this chain. So the way this is going to work, you're basically going to attack your primary target, apply disruptor, rebound chain to adjacent targets for an additional damage. So it's interesting when I saw the animation for this, and it looks like how this kind of image looks here. It looks like it's just kind of like shooting someone and bouncing off. So it's like the bullets are bouncing around. So that's the way I kind of see this thing working. And again, if you're low health, it hits even more targets. The T4 is here, the additional 40% damage, the primary, the guaranteed 3 chain, additional 40% damage to the adjacents. Her base damage, which we'll get into in a little bit, I don't think is going to be something that's going to make this thing real high up on the list of T4s. The passive, Lady Luck. On spawn, fill speed bar by 15% on XForce ally's turn. 50% chance to apply evade to that ally. The T4 adds another 25% for a 75% chance to apply evade to that ally. I like that aspect of the T4 by itself. That's a pretty good chance to apply evade, and that's on that XForce ally's turn. It doesn't say whether it stacks or not, so I'm assuming it does not. Gain 10% dodge chance, as well as your XForce allies gain the same dodge chance. Gain 10% crit damage. Allies gain the same crit damage. The T4 there gives you an additional 10% crit damage, and then apply negative 15% crit damage to all enemies. On war offense, on spawn, reduce speed bar for all enemies by 5%. Apply offense up to all XForce allies. So clearly it helps out with war offense. The T4 is here for some additional crit damage is okay. The additional evade, or a chance to apply evade, I really kind of like that aspect of it, just because it's getting closer to that guaranteed chance. I'm not surprised they don't have it guaranteed, because that's kind of the point of her. Anyway, so let's go check out the stats, because to me, that's really the biggest thing you want to see with a character like this. Okay, so I mentioned earlier in the video that my Envoy video kind of was talking about power creep. You'll notice that in the top 5 here, and I'll zoom in quite a bit for you here, you don't see, and I've got all the XForce highlighted yellow, you don't see anything in there. So as I scroll down, I'm still scrolling, finally get to Domino here at 34. So dramatic difference with my error there for getting that the red star rework, and how could I ever forget that, but didn't apply it to that specific video. So now it's been applied, so we can see where Domino comes in specifically with her stats. And she's the highest ranked XForce member as far as stats go. So, and again, if you haven't seen these videos, I baseline all the stats at level 70, 7 yellow stars, 0 red stars, T11, 1% star tech, and passive level 5 per MSF.gg. I'm very likely going to increase that baseline here in the near future to probably T13 and level 75, even though I think it's much more difficult to get to those levels. As the game progresses further, I feel like it's important to recognize that next shift of gear that you get and really rank everybody according to that. I originally did this baseline because it is more obtainable as folks, so those higher levels are going to become more attainable as we move further and further in the game. So all right, into Domino. Health. She comes in ranked at 117 with a 59k. That is not very good. Damage, she does have a decent damage rank there, coming at 30 with 7459. So not terrible. You know, it's pretty solid there. Armor, she comes in ranked at 32, which again is pretty good, 4535. Focus, she comes in ranked at 81, but there's a passive focus that gets from one of other tunes to help bust that up for you know, anything that you're going to apply in the game. What was it, her ability block, I think it was. So anyway, so that focus, don't freak out about that. You do have ways to get that higher. Resistance, it's actually super high. It's 16. I was pretty surprised by that. You know, I like the higher resistance, well, really for anybody, but normally you want that for your folks who are going to be exposed or tanking, just to make sure nothing gets dispelled, or somebody who's got to keep an immunity on them, something like that. Next up is her speed. She comes in ranked at 69 on speed. Her speed is 105, so not too bad. You know, it's top half. It's pretty solid. As you saw in the Envoy video that I did, that she's taken her turn, what is it, third? So went Negasonic, and then X23, and then Domino. So not too bad. She comes with an average rank across the board of 57.5. That's not terrible. That's 34th overall in the game as far as average stat rankings, and you know, she's tied with Iron Man, which is not anything to call home about, but Mr. Fantastic, Call Obsidian's, you know, just a couple spots ahead of her. Those Call Obsidian's not bad. Graviton's not a bad character, so you know, Domino's not bad. And you know, really this team is about speed bar and countering some teams in war. So that's what I got for Domino. So let's just sum this up and put a little cover on it. So I really want to yell Domino MF. But anyway, some kids might watch, so I don't want to say that. But anyway, some of you will get that reference. So yeah, Domino, like I said, not as good as I had originally thought based on the error that I made, but she's still a solid tune. I think overall this is about a team, how the team kind of comes together, how they're going to be fighting in war. I've recently decided that, you know what, war offense to me is going to be taking a much more priority. I'm kind of sick of building war defensive teams and them being countered in a month or 2 months later. You know, granted, this XForce team isn't going to be like built up immediately by most unless you're wailing out. But I'd rather build up a war offense team that I know is going to do something for me for a while versus, you know, if this team truly does end up countering the Asgardians like it showed in that Envoy video. You know, we didn't know the power levels necessarily, but I'm assuming it was about even. You know, it's kind of like, all right, well, Asgard's great, but, you know, anybody with a decent X-Force is going to come through and just wipe me out. You know, and there were some already decent counters to Asgardians anyway, but Yeah, I don't know. So war offense is probably going to be something I more think about at this point, unless you've just got a war defense team that's just like untouchable. And I'm not sure that's ever going to, because even Mercs, who seem like annoying, Black Order just wipes the floor with them. So that's what I got to say about that. So what do you think? These Domino stats impress you? Don't impress you? You going to wail out for her? I'm not going to wail out for her. I'll get the, I bought the initial packs and she's sitting at like power level 100. We'll see if I have the gear. I don't have enough resources to keep leveling all these tunes, even though I really want to do this one. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of assuming, maybe not assuming, but listening to the fact that Black Order was going to be some awesome arena defense team, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be. They're decent, but they're not what I thought they were going to be. So anyway, I'm a little short on gear and a little bitter, frankly. But anyway, that's all I got for the day. So please share with your alliance mates. Tell them to come visit the Discord, chat with me, let me know what your thoughts are. Hammer down on the like buttons, notification bells, subscription buttons, all that kind of good stuff. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.